Hey everyone, hope you liked my last video on purchase contracts. I know it's not that exciting, but maybe for some people it's exciting. It's exciting for me, and if you're looking to buy a house, I'm sure you'll want to know those things. So if you missed that, check it out. It's fantastic. But this next video is going to be, it's a little late, mid-January right now, but it's going to be a little bit of a 2020 recap, right? 2020 was a crazy ass year. We went through so many things. Obviously, COVID, horrible. But this video is going to be about essentially real estate in the Edmonton market from my experiences and what I've seen. And we're pretty much just going to talk about how COVID has affected house prices and how activity and everything to do with that. So hope you like this video because it's not going to be negative. It's pretty much positive when it comes to real estate. So let's get into it. Starting off January, we all didn't know even what COVID was. It's like if you flew to China, you might be in trouble, but the rest of us are like, it's not going to come here. How naive we were, right? February, my birthday month, I had a birthday, everybody came out, and that was pretty much the last semblance of freedom we had before COVID, right? March, COVID hit, and it slapped us into another dimension. So at this point, I had a client who backed out of a real estate deal because we didn't know what was going to happen. Kind of expected everything to go down, and then we went into lockdown and nothing happened. Nobody was really buying houses, nothing is happening. So during that lockdown, we just didn't know, right? We expected maybe the market to go down. We expected it to, I don't know what we expected. We didn't know what was going on. So during that time, I was like, oh my God, this is going to suck, right? But spoiler alert, after lockdown essentially after July, real estate market really started booming. Everybody that had a house on the market pretty much went off the market. Sales spiked like crazy. The house prices didn't really go up. They kind of stayed flat or up a little bit or down a little bit. Nothing too crazy in the house prices. But what we started to encounter was during lockdown, what happened was everybody started renovating their houses, doing projects, all this home renovation stuff. I even did it. I'm sure you probably did it too if you have your own place. But what happened was a spike in lumber prices, right? So building a house pretty much went up 30%. I talked to my friend that is a sales rep for one of the builders. She said, yeah, we're giving people 20% off, and now it's no more discount time. So that's pretty nuts when you think of it. And that brings up the idea about inflation, right? Everybody expects, prices to fluctuate up and down, but we have to deal with inflation. Essentially, that's all COVID has done is inflated prices for everything. It's inflated prices for lumber, for obviously all these businesses have to do all sorts of disinfection in their processes, so it increases the prices there. Restaurants, they can't have people eating in, so that increases their costs right away with the whole pretty much setting up online delivery has increased their costs. And we saw about Woodshed Burger that they said to buy directly from them because using Skip the Dishes was taking up all their profits. So that's the one thing we got to look for with house prices. It's one thing to predict the market, but the one thing you can predict quite comfortably is the rate of inflation. So when you're looking at inflation, right, house prices are going to be going up probably for forever. Marginally. Obviously, there's going to be some big medium dips, medium up, but essentially the prices are going to be going up over time. Look at our parents, they bought their houses for 100K and now they're 500K. That's a pretty big, huge jump. But back then they were making like no money at all. So you think about how much wages have inflated and how everything inflates alongside that. So, I mean, enough about inflation. Obviously, I think that's going to increase real estate prices. Next, it would be definitely, we're going to go over the reasons why I believe the prices and house sales have gone up, right? House sales have gone up substantially over last year. And this is kind of along the same trend that Alberta gets in anyways. We have a boom and bust cycle. I'd say last time we were in a boom was about 2013. So essentially that was the peak of the boom. And then it started going down. And then it's going back up. And we are, or should be, in the uprising of the market. It's kind of a 5 to 10 year boom. So it's kind of very predictable. I know my grandpa taught me that because he's an Albertan farmer and he's gone through every single Edmonton boom that we've had. So he says, wait 5 years, it'll go down, or wait 5 years and it'll be up again. So it's kind of predictable in that way. And that was really that boom, or this sales boom, has really been boosted, I think, by COVID. COVID has boosted a lot of things that we didn't really think about. And I think the reason for the heat of the real estate market is definitely everybody spending more time in their homes. During our first lockdown, everyone's like, why am I living in this tiny condo? I want to buy a house. Or I'm living downtown and nothing's open downtown. This sucks. I want to go out to the burbs. I want a house. So that's really boosted that market. So if you're looking for outside of the Henday or outside of downtown, sales have gone through the roof. So quantity of houses on the market is very slim. It's very slim pickings for anything in the 300 to 400K price range. That's really hot. As I said in the last videos, it's always a safe price range because that's the meat of the market right there. So that's one reason. Yeah, obviously, I think just the main reasons for the sales booms were lumber prices have gone up. So people might be thinking less likely to build a house, maybe buy resale. And the second one is, you want to go to the suburbs because you're downtown, everything's closed, you're cramped, it sucks. The third one, what I haven't said anything about yet, would be definitely less money spent on traveling, less money spent on food. Even I've gone out to eat way less than I was. Less money on going to movies, doing sports, doing all that stuff. So where do you put that money? Well, I'm thinking about buying a house, so put it towards a house. So of course that's another factor we don't really look into, is obviously the less money you spend, the more money you save, and the more money towards a house. So obviously it's a good investment, whereas maybe the entertainment stuff is not as good of an investment, but we need that too. Obviously I'm hoping this comes back within the next couple months, but I'm predicting probably a year more of COVID. I don't see why it would stop. Cases are going down in Alberta, but they're spiking everywhere else. So how would we dodge it? So who knows? Maybe I'll be wrong. But yeah, pretty much 2020 was an interesting year because it started off slow, went hot in the fall, and kind of is still hot to this moment, even though Christmas slowed down. But people are still buying houses on Christmas Eve. So if you're looking to buy a house, probably try to buy it before the spring market. Obviously, more houses will be going on the market in the spring, so you have better options. But you might have more competition and higher prices. So that's kind of 2020 in a nutshell. I thought, 2020 was a horrible year in some ways, but it was a positive way in some ways too, because one thing that everybody started doing was spending more time, thinking about themselves and Relationships have been interesting too, because we've all been, if you're living with somebody, you're spending more time with that person than you ever have. So it kind of created a whole different year. We've never really had a year like this, so it's created new opportunities and new interesting things in our lives. Overall positives, we we all probably learned new talent. We took a metaphorical break from our crazy traveling. We actually we want to start a life. We want to, refocus and adjust what we're looking to do in our lives. That's what 2020 has done. It's definitely done that for me. I've had a lot of business near the end of the year, which I didn't expect near the beginning of the year after COVID. So it's kind of interesting the way that life takes you. The other things I've been doing have been obviously hobbies, right? We've been spending all of our time traveling and playing sports and doing all this stuff, but there's a lot of hobbies that we kind of neglected. And I picked up chess again because if you've seen the Queen's Gambit, that was a heck of a show. And I played chess when I was young, like when I was in grade 5, I was playing chess. And we never thought that would be cool. And it kind of wasn't cool until COVID hit. And now chessboard sales are going through the roof. So all stuff like that, like cooking. If you're a baker, you're a great cook, you're knitting things, you're playing board games. It's kind of like we have way more time for those activities. So I hope you took advantage of that, because once life gets back, we'll be going traveling. I'm sure everybody and their dog will be traveling. So it's going to be friggin' nuts. But that's kind of my video. Obviously, 2020, to sum it up, horrible at the beginning for real estate. Middle started spiking, and we've been in a spike ever since. We've broke all the sales records. And yeah, that's kind of my reasoning for that. I went into a little bit of a tangent, but I hope you liked this video. The next video is going to be how to prep for the upcoming spring market, whether you're a buyer or a seller. So if you're looking to buy a house or sell a house, this next video is going to be for you. It might be hot, so I'll try to prep you as much as possible, but hope you like this video and have a good rest of your day.